So, you want to create a prefab in A16, but you can't because Hal's editor no longer works. So what do, I wonder? Well, the first thing you do is you look in the comments, or not the comments, the show more description of this video and get the link to where you can download Pille's prefab editor. Pille is a German guy who was nice enough to have a TeamViewer session with me and kind of show me a few things and show me around a little bit, so I kind of have a better understanding of the prefab editor than I did the very first time I looked at it. I don't remember everything he told me, but so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do several videos in kind of a series and kind of show you the basics in this video and get more and more complicated as we go. So first thing I did after I downloaded it is I went ahead, go ahead and file, edit, and I forced the update. Now anytime you force an update, you actually have to close the editor and click OK. And then so that's 100%, then close, right? So I'm going to load it again. As I was in before, and I'm in now, so nothing actually updated, but whatever. Okay, I guess I'm going to work on version M here. All right, so first thing I want to do is I'm going to want to set up my screens a little bit because I don't like horizontal scroll bars at all. So I'm going to go ahead and find this little sweet spot right here, and I'm going to drag it over a little bit. I'm going to find this one over here since I got too much space over here. I'm going to drag this over a little bit too, and that gives me a lot more workspace here, and I don't have any horizontal bars because I hate those. Now you see there's a tools box, you see there's an edit box, and you have the main area, right? Well, underneath the edit box, there's some more. Look at that. Now what would happen if I put this right here? It just goes right on top, right? But check this out. I can take this, I can drag it off to my second monitor, to my second monitor, to my second monitor, to my second monitor. And now I've got the whole big screen. I have an ultra-wide monitor that I now get to use. Look at all that. I could fit a big prefab in there and actually see it. But I don't want to do that for this video because this video doesn't record my second monitor. So I'm going to go over and I'm going to drag this back over to Tools. Because I wanted Tools over here. Now, when you're dragging the boxes back, it's important not to just drag them anywhere because they remain floating. To dock them, you actually need to put them in between this line here and this line here. So, boom. Put edit here, boom. Prefab setting here, boom. But I don't actually want that. That's backwards. Let's see, I want prefab settings at the bottom, then info, and then edit, just because that's how I like it. And I get to rearrange it how I like it because that's the way it goes. Alright, so the first thing I want to show off is just some basic prefab information. For those of you who don't know, a prefab is like a POI. It's basically a group of blocks put together in order to be inserted into the world, either a Naviz-Gain or random world generation for 7 days to die. A prefab could be a barn, it could be the Dashong Tower, it could be even something as simple as a street sign. Street signs are blocks, but they also have them set as prefabs, so that way they can put them into the random world generator mixer and kind of throw them all over the place. Doesn't change anything though. The point of this though is to show you how it works with regular prefabs. So I'm going to pick, say, a gas station. So I'm going to go up here, I'm going to go File, going to load up, I'm going to load up a gas station. Let's do gas station 1. Alright, so basically what I'm looking at is a top-down view of the gas station, and something that's called layers. So first I want to kind of zoom in a little bit, kind of fill my screen a little bit more. Now, the bottom layer is the very first layer at the ground. So it's if you were to place it directly on the ground, it would be 1 block high. And then as you move up the layers, and I can use these buttons or the mouse wheel, this is again a top-down view. This is the next block high. This is the next block high. This is the next block high. Now let's count this for a second. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3 of these blocks are all asphalt. And I know they're asphalt because I'm looking up here to see what the IDs are as I mouse over. So I know that this is actually a sunken prefab, and it's sunk 3 deep. Because I'm looking at right now with the grass. This is grass, cinder blocks. It's like there's a sleeper there. There's a tree green brown grass diagonal. some crazy names guys came up with. But long story short, this is what I'm actually walking on. So if I had a top-down view and the cursor was my guy, I would be walking along here, and then here would be the gas pumps, and here would be the garage doors, and I'd hack my little axe to break the bottom block, and then I'd go up the layer and hack my little axe to break the top block, and then I'd walk in and get attacked by 1,000 sleepers. But the point that I'm trying to show you though is that this is 3 blocks deep, and that is to account for these pits. If you remember right, in the gas station, there's actually pits down there. You can kind of see, there's some spikes. If I remember right, see there's a sleeper, trash pile, and a container crate with working stiffs, and then the stairs. All right. So anyway, but this is the top view of what a prefab looks like. So I'm going to go back to the layer. Let's say this is the layer I actually want to work with, right? Another cool thing I can do, and this is vastly different from houses, I have this view right here too. Now you're wondering what the hell this is? Well, let's see if this makes any more sense to you. Does this make any more sense to you? I know it does. Now you're looking at it from the side view, which I would call this the front view, by the way. This should probably be labeled front view, back view, or front/back view. This should be labeled left/right view. I don't really know. But it's a little confusing when it says side when it's really the front of the building. Because here's the garage doors, here's the door, here's the windows, here's the roof up here. This is where I stand to shoot the zombies. Pew, pew, pew. And that's how I kill them, right? So as I step away from it, though, I have what? So basically the prefab also has parking lots. So this is what? Some grass. I get a little closer, get a little closer, get a little closer. So the first thing I see is the top of the pumps. Here are the pumps right here, gas pumps. And that's probably the car. Yep, that's the car. And then that's the sign, right? It says passing gas up here. Oh, and that's the street light. That's the street light, okay. And then I get close and there's my garage doors. So I think that's pretty cool, different way of looking at it. And then here's the side view of the same thing, the side of the building. So these would be what? The gas pumps, I guess, or the pillars, the container gas pumps. So you kind of see it's pretty cool. I like it. That's it. Big gas pump. Yep. But let's go back to the side view here because I actually want to do something interesting. So the biggest change that this editor is from House Editor is that this is more like a paint program. It is set up like a paint program. It has all the same features, or a lot of the same features that a paint program uses. So get in your mindset of Paint or Photoshop or PaintShop Pro or whatever you may use, GIMP or Paint.net. It doesn't make a difference. You're going to recognize these features. So this is the select and navigate tools. So right now I can select blocks. I can select blocks by clicking on them, or I can right click and multi-select. And as you see, as I do that, I get a list of all the blocks that are selected, which is kind of cool. But I haven't actually done anything with the blocks yet. So this is just selection. So I could do this all day. I could write my name. Let's see. Guppyker. It doesn't change anything. Then I have this pan tool, right? So let's say I'm zoomed in real well because I'm trying to work on something, but I need to get over here. So I just pan it. It's right there. It's beautiful. Then I have this box tool, but I'm going to get to that on another video. Then I have this paint tool, and this is what I wanted to show. I'm going to paint some arches on my prefab. All right. So I'm going to change the brush size. Now, if you'll notice, if you go all the way to the left, it's going to be brush size 0. Probably should remove that as an option because what's the point? It should start as 1. And I'm going to choose, let's see here. I want to paint some iron ore, right? So I'm going to paint, let's see. Oh yeah, paint. Did I do that? Iron ore. Yeah. And I want to do that with some control. Alright, so what I did is I selected those, but I forgot to actually set the blocks. But that's okay. I'll just do it again. I'm going to paint it. Let's see. I'll set some of them. That was a little weird. You know what? Let me choose air. There. Get rid of that. Alright, so I'm going to paint my guppy cur again. Paint iron ore. Oops. Let's see. Change these to air. Set them all right. I select all textures. Damn it, I keep screwing up. So I got guppy and set it to what was it? Iron ore, and I'm going to set all, right? So that should theoretically mean that I now have this as iron. And look at that. So I've just basically edited this prefab so that now, instead of this block, which is this is reporting wrong because I know for a fact it's not air. This is air. Oh, it doesn't really work too well on the side views. These blocks don't report right on the side views. But anyway, instead of this block, now it's a piece of iron, and now there'll be a giant sign that says guppy. Although it'll fall because this piece here isn't actually attached to anything. Long story short, though, that's the paint tool. Then I've got, I'm going to skip this one for a second. Then I've got this invert tool, which basically, if I'm going to select something, let's say I want to go ahead and select, actually, I want to select just the doors, but then I want to invert the selection. Basically, I'm going to say, I want to select everything but the doors. And I can change everything to air and do whatever I want with it. And that's kind of cool. Now I'm going to show you a really cool feature. I'm going to first load a much larger prefab. This is my Guppyville. It's pretty big, as you can kind of see. It's, you know, pretty massive. So but anyway, though, I want to put a picture of my face in here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a prefab. Nope, not going to do that. I'm going to insert image. I'm going to go to my temp folder. And let's use this Borderland dude. That's an exe, though. Alright, here we go. I'm going to insert that. So right now, my button, the second I click it, is going to basically drag and insert that image. Well, not every image is going to look great, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just deselect that by pressing this and calling it a day. Let's try a different one then. So I'm going to click this image here, and I'm going to insert this image. Now this is a little bit better. Yeah, that's a whole lot better. So now when you're looking at the picture, this one right here, you can kind of see it matches. There's the arms, shoulder, other shoulder, head, you know, whole 9 yards. So lighter colors don't show up as well. But anyway, this would be kind of cool with like 2 color or maybe even 16 color, probably just 2 colors, the only way you want to go. Art, you can actually just draw it in paint and then go ahead and turn it into a prefab later, which I find to be really cool. But anyway, I don't want to do that for reals. So I thought that was pretty cool. So this is a general selector. This is a panner. I'm going to do this one in another video. Paintbrush, insert image, insert or invert the selection. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and click edit, right? And this, if I have this button clicked, and then I go ahead and use the paintbrush, I think, and then it's still, will it work? Can I just draw? Let's see here. Edit, oh, paintbrush and then edit maybe? Paintbrush and then edit. Yeah, and then I can take my iron, and then I can, that doesn't work like I thought it would. I thought I'd be able to actually paint the iron. Oh, it is doing it. It's just really, really slow because it's a really big prefab. I'm going to show that in a smaller prefab as soon as my computer catches up with me. Oops. Load prefab. Let's go get back to the gas station. So let's see. If I were to do my, say, my golden arches here, or I mean my word guppy, I could write it like this. I would click this button and then click this button. No, this button first and then this button. I don't know which one it is. Let's see if it works. I thought for sure I could choose the brush and then choose that, and it would let me draw, but that's okay. So that doesn't work like I thought it would. Back to Guppyville, because I'm going to show you something else cool. I'm going to show you inserting a whole prefab. So I'm going to go back to the top view, which means I'm looking down, like the deity that I am. And I want to add a building to the cornfield. First I got to find the cornfield. You know, this mouse wheel feels backwards. I'm scrolling down to go up, and I'm scrolling up to go down. That's a little weird. Or maybe, no, I guess I had it right the first time. Oh no, don't look, I have underground rooms. So I want to add something to this cornfield. This is the dirt, these are the stalks, so the crops, so I want to add something, right? So I'm going to go ahead and I can actually double click this, right? Move it out the way a little bit here. Go here, I'm sorry, go here. Pull up another instance, and I'm going to load the, let's do the gas station again, our friend the gas station. Alright, so I'm going to kind of squish this out to the side. And the reason why is because basically I want to know how deep it was, and remember it was 3, 1, 2, 3. So that kind of helps me eyeball it. So I'm going to go ahead and insert prefab, and you don't need to load the second instance. I just did it because I wanted to see if I could, and I can. So I'm going to insert the prefab, and I'm going to click, say, right here. Oh, I don't like it right there. I'll just move it over here a little bit. Let me scroll in a little bit. Oh no, I have to pan, so I'm going to pan over here. Go back to the selection screen and put it back. I guess after I panned it, kind of froze it there. That's okay too. So all I'm going to do is, because I don't think undo works for this feature yet, is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it in there, fix the position, and then I'm just going to undo that action. Insert prefab, gas station, and I'm going to go here, I'm going here. It's more centered here. Perfect. So that's where I want it from the top view, right? From the side view, though, well, I know it's 3 deep, and this is the ground, so I definitely want to go with 3 deep, right? So how about I just go 3 deep? Boom, shakalaka. So the top view hasn't changed, other than where it starts at. And then with the side view, I'm able to actually choose how deep I want it to go. 1, 2, 3 blocks deep. And then I go ahead and fix the position. So when I go to my top view, my gas station is there. Let me zoom out a little bit. And it's sunken at the correct level, because here's dirt, here's the first layer of asphalt. Coming up a block, here's dirt, or crops, and here's the air. So you could actually walk on it, so now I know it's level with the ground, because I have that side view. It's going to be dirt, the asphalt, and then come on down, right? Now that's freaking cool. I like that. But you know what I want to do? I want to take just this bay room, right? I want to just take just the bay room and just move it, right? So what I want to do, let's see if this button, and I want to do it with this one. Right click. No, I'm just do the office. I want to select these blocks. So they're all selected. Control C for copy. And then Control V. Ah, isn't that cool? Now, of course, that's only not one layer, but it's pretty damn cool. So there is a way to do it with multiple layers, I believe. I seem to recall that feature, and I believe that's going to be in a later video. So let's get to the cool thing about painting. All right, so let's go back to that garage, right? Garage. Actually, I'm going to do garage blue, because we all know this fucker. And do a side view. I'm going to zoom in. And then, we all know what this is. This is the front. You come up to the garage, you see the roof ridge. You're coming in, you have the front garage door. You go in a little bit farther after you whack these two blocks out, and you go in and you have some sleepers, and then at the back of the garage you have the table. That's the washing machine, a cooler, some conduit, and sleeper there too, and then a back wall. Anyway, so that's the garage, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to change these textures. So first I'm going to select all the textures, and then you have to imagine that this is a box, and I really wish he'd put lines in here to show you that they're a box. You can see that this is actually a box here, 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 and a box here. Imagine this is a box, and at this front of the box is actually the front of the block, what you're facing, right? So I want to change all the front textures to a different texture. And this is the left texture. So this would be what's around this corner if I were to walk around here and look at it from over here. And this is the right. This would be from the top, the bottom, underneath the block, with the ground would be touching. The face, so if I were highlighting this block right here, the bottom would be the face that touches this block right here. And then the back of the box. So, but anyway, I want to go ahead and I want to change all the front textures to look like cabinets. It's this simple. Boom. That's it. Now, every front texture, every one of these blocks has a front texture of these cabinets. Isn't that awesome? All right, so when you're highlighting the block, you don't get a whole lot of information, right? So all it says is wood counterplate, wood center plate rather. And I actually want more information. Remember back here, there was an info screen hidden back here. And this gives me a whole lot more information. Now what you'll notice is as I'm highlighting it, look at these blocks over here as I'm highlighting it, right? They're all blank. So I don't know if the editor just swaps just the selected front with the counter and leaves the other ones how they were, or if it somehow makes them a blank texture. I don't know. I suspect it's the former, so I suspect it's not going to cause any issues. But just for good measure, maybe I should, on each one of these blocks, make sure I have a left, right, top, bottom, and black texture. But, I'm not going to do that because I don't care. All I know is the front of my garage is going to look like red cabinets, and that's going to be awesome. Well, that's a pretty basic tutorial on how to deal with the editor. When it comes to the importing and exporting prefabs, there's really not a good way to do it just yet. Hal's editor can do it for local games and dedicated servers, but requires a DLL build. A lot of people aren't comfortable with that, replacing the DLL, because then it breaks the AC and it's a whole bunch of things going wrong. And then also Hal doesn't really update it for the most recent versions of the experimental, although I'm sure he will when 16 actually drops. Or Stalpy's method, which requires a dedicated server. It's a mod he has. I don't think Copy is updating his at all anymore, so I think you're SLO as far as that goes. So I think you're only limited to importing and exporting with either Hal's or Stalpy's, and each of which has its downsides right now. But for the most part, like I said, I'm going to make some more videos going over more details as I discover more things for myself, and I rewatch my TeamViewer session that I had with Pile so I can refresh my memory on what these checkboxes do, because they drive me nuts and I just actually forget what they do. And I'll also go over what this button does. That's it for now.